So welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough and this is episode 583. Now in this episode, I really want to make sure that we have like a bulletproof mind. This is being broadcasted live on YouTube at youtube.com/Joseph Clough and also on Facebook at facebook.com/Joseph's fan page. Joseph's fan page. Remember they used to have or be called fan pages? But you can go ahead and watch me live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. On Mondays, like this episode recording, this is about motivation, getting our mind in the right place. On the Wednesdays, we do live hypnosis. So if you really want to be able to get help with anything in particular, you can join live and I'll take on your suggestions. So I think that is something that we can really help one another on the live. On Fridays is more of a chill out. So we're ending our week. I gotta pause that for a sec. My music was going crazy for a second. I remember where it was 18 minutes on my side. Okay, we're good now, we're good. So anyway, as I was saying on this podcast, so on Fridays, we do the more of a chill out. So if you want to go ahead and attend live, we've got quite a few people on this live episode. So feel free to go ahead and do that. Now, the other thing that you can go ahead and do is download my free hypnosis app. Now, my free hypnosis app is at freehypnosis.app. And that is where you can create custom hypnosis sessions. It is where you can listen to hypnosis in the daytime ones and the nighttime ones. As you go to sleep, you can be put into a trance and therefore wake up transformed. And there's an opportunity to have your own custom creation and you can unlock the whole app as well. So unlimited amount of downloads to affordable as an investment. I mean, it is an investment anyway. And of course, if you like the app, go ahead and leave a review for us. It just means that more people will be able to see the app and therefore we can help more people. So as I said, today is about getting our mind in the right place. With every moment of getting our mind in the right place, we need to understand what we're going through. We need to understand that maybe we need to regulate our thoughts. It is so easy to fall into a trap of just feeling like this is who I am, but things will never change. It's easy for us to get to a place where we're like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to move myself forward. And after a while, we go ahead and feel like that is our reality. It makes us feel like that is all that we're worthy of. For the results that are showing up to me right now, that is life, that is my lot, and I'm unable to change. You see, we get conditioned by ourselves and by the outside world, and it makes us feel small. Have you ever felt like that before, where you felt lost and alone, you felt smaller than you thought you could have been? Where way back, maybe when you were a child, you thought you could have anything. You could be anything. You could go on a journey and really live the life that you chose in your mind. You almost went there first in your mind, thinking that this is the life that I want. However, as we get older, we do get conditioned through the life experiences, and it does start to limit how we see the world around us. And more importantly, how we see ourselves. You see, we can have the fears, we can have the worries, we can have the doubts, we can be hurt. But we have to recognize and not bury those things. We want to be able to regulate them and be aware of them, because after a while they will feel so natural that it'll be feeling like it's impossible to change, that we go, this is who we are. But one of the steps to change is to be more mindful, to be more conscious of your experience, to be conscious of what is really happening. And it's not saying that we should be fearful of, it's not saying that we should shy away from. You see, think about it like this: the resistance you feel within your system is a signal for you to pay attention. Just like if we're feeling unwell, we might get the symptom of a headache. We might get the symptom of feeling fatigued. We may have a symptom of a temperature. Now, that is not to be ignored. You would never ignore those. They're signals to go, something is not right within my body. There is an ailment happening. There is a conflict. There is a dis-ease within the system that we must pay attention to. And the exact same way that we do that with our body, when something doesn't feel right, we have to do the exact same thing with our mind, with our thoughts, with our feelings, with how we show up in this world. So don't run away from those feelings. Don't accept them as this is who you are, because that is not who you are. If there is some resistance showing up for you right now within your mind and body, maybe there's some resistance with other people in your life, because we've all been there as well, where maybe someone isn't respecting us or we feel disempowered. Once again, we shouldn't fall into the illusionary trap that is what must be done, or that is who we are. When we change ourselves, when we focus our attention and intention on the inner world of us, the external world will change as well. It really, really will. So let's be more mindful. And the great thing about it is, by being more mindful, by being more aware, you are actually being more gentle on yourself. We treat ourselves so hard sometimes. We may have been belittled by the external world and the events that we've gone through, but eventually it leads us to feel like that is who we are, and therefore we belittle ourselves. So now it's our time to be gentle, to disconnect from that resistance, knowing we're aware of it, and coming up with a plan of action that will allow you to go through the event and learn because of it. See it as an opportunity to grow, that this resistance is a refining of your greatness, that this step back is your platform to move forward. Though even if we do feel low, this is the foundation we build upon ourselves to take a stand on what is right. You see, just like your health is going to be a higher value because you feel that physical pain, we should do that in our mind as well. Pay attention and start to take action. What have you been putting off? What's been getting in the way? If you start to consider, okay, I understand that I've been putting things off. I haven't said what I needed to say, or I haven't done what I should be. Have you ever had the thought that you feel like you should be farther along in life? It's a common thought that we all have. It's a common thought that we experience. But I want you to know, part of being gentle on yourself is not reflecting on all of the missed opportunities, but the opportunities which are heading our way. So let's use this moment to take a stand together and go, I am going to make a difference. The difference that makes the difference. You have everything you need within you. We've just got to remember. You got to remember what it was like before the issues. We got to remember there was a time when this did not exist. We've got to remember that there's an opportunity to be different. Way, way back before you had any conflict, and it could be a conflict this week, it could be ever since we're a child. But if we go all the way back before the issue ever existed, and remember the freedom that we had way back then, the possibilities and the potentialities. It was always so much more freer, but we can go there and remember it now. You see, your unconscious mind has the most wonderful recall in its memories. In the same way that we can remember all those negative events, it can record all those things and generalize, distort, and delete aspects of our reality because of the conflict that we're in. Way back in the past, your unconscious mind can remember who you are, who you really are on the inside, before the conflict, where there was wholeness, when there was beingness, when there was peace. Your unconscious mind can do that. Now, it might mean that you need like hypnosis or coaching or one-to-one or whatever it is for you. There's always a solution, but remember, your unconscious mind's memory is pretty great. It can easily go back to those times, the good and the bad, but it's our choice as to where we take our mind. In the same way that we can remember what used to be when everything was good and great and bring it back to this present moment, remember that you can actually create and paint images in your mind of how you would like to be. You see, one of the easiest ways of changing is to hallucinate your desired outcomes. And the best tip I would suggest on that is imagining yourself doing it, not looking through your own eyes, but watching yourself within your mind going through the successful completion of any event or any endeavor that you're really desiring. Now, the reason for this is exactly your unconscious mind does not know the difference. It doesn't know the difference very well because the way the mind is geared up, and think about it, that's why we feel anxiety, we feel the hallucination of what we don't want to happen, and it causes us to feel anxious. So let's reverse that process and focus on what you want. Focus on your desires. You have everything you need. Like, if we could just learn how to use this mind of ours, if we can just go back to the place when we were free and actually start to create, like you have your mind as your blank canvas and you can start to put anything you want on it. Think about that when you are creating things in your mind, you're getting your unconscious mind to consider that way, that action, that how to get there. That is not why we should never go, well, why does this always happen to me? Because our unconscious mind has that memory and it remembers all the things that you did wrong, which makes us feel like, well, that's why I am like I am. That's the reason. It's now time to start to move forward on the how. How can I be different today? How can I make a difference? How can I begin to move forward? Sometimes it's connecting with ourselves, sometimes it's connecting with others, where we actually connect ourselves with a loving, supporting network, where we can experience more self or external validation, which helps us, but to also simultaneously look for the self-validation. You see, when you begin to go on that journey on the inside, when you begin to consider, maybe I have the love I need, maybe not externally, but within us. I think if we break everything down, I honestly believe we're whole. Beneath all the surface, beneath all the layers of those symptoms, I believe we are whole. I believe you are whole. I believe that yes, life is life and there can be horrible things that we go through, but I still want us to connect back to that wholeness, to learn as we grow, to process in the right way, to truly allow ourselves to be an example of what can be done. Because you can be the example, you can inspire, you can help people by letting go of your own stuff. So let's assume responsibility. Let's move ourselves away from being the effect of life and all those symptoms, the effect and all those reasons, the effect and sometimes excuses that we tell ourselves, to move away from the stories we've been telling ourselves of disempowerment or scarcity or doubt. Let's give up those today. Let's dig deep together. Let's go ahead and assume responsibility and go, I'm not going to be a product of my experience. I'm not going to be a product of life. I'm going to allow life to be a product of what I choose to create. But I'm going to focus on being happier today. Just happier. Don't aim for the happiness. Don't aim for the perfection. Don't aim for the total peace just yet. You see, when you focus on the happiness, if you focus on just trying to get to the absolute fulfillment and peace, we can fall short because we feel like it's too far away. We're too conflicted. We're too broken on the inside. So we immediately self-sabotage our experience. We self-sabotage that journey of what could be done. We self-sabotage that real happiness by focusing on it too much. Let's focus on just being better, being happier, more peaceful, more content. What can you do today which will simultaneously allow you to treat yourself more gently whilst also improving yourself? Maybe you ask yourself, well, what can I learn from this? How can I grow because of this? Or maybe you're going to take time out for yourself. You're going to take time out for yourself today, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you're going to sit in the silence. You're going to sit in the gratitude. You're going to sit in the experience of the good things that you can appreciate from your life. You're going to start to create the images in your mind of where you would like to be, how you would like to act. You're going to go on that journey and go, this is how I would like to be. This is who I'm becoming. I know I'm not there yet, but I'm getting better. I'm looking to grow every day. If I can just grow by 1% upon the previous day, we're going to be so much better in 100 days. In fact, in about 70 days, with a compound interest of that better, it's going to grow and it's going to go and transcend into every area of your life. Sometimes we feel like it cannot be done because those gaps are too far. But that's why I say, let's be gentle, more gentle. Let's focus on being better, on improvement, not comparing yourself to others as well. That is a terrible thing to do. Never compare yourself to others, because then it's like competition in business. Improve yourself and compare yourself from where you were yesterday, from where you were a week ago, from where you were a year ago. That should be the comparison, not with others, not with what other people have. Because you don't know what they're going through. On the outside, it could be all good, but on the inside, they may not be happy. They may not be where they want to be. But if you compare yourself from where you were while focusing on getting better, guess what? You're going to look back and go, I've improved. I've got better. I got stronger. I learned. I lived. I loved. I go through the events of my future while simultaneously learning with them. I've gone through the events of my past while simultaneously having learned because of them. That will create our momentum. That will give us more strength. I honestly want you to know I do believe in you. And sometimes it does take, and you may go, look, Joseph, you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know my experience. And that is absolutely true, unless we've met, unless we've connected. But even though that may be the case, I want you to know I do believe in you. And you may be able to tell by the congruency of my words. I'm not selling anything here. I'm taking the time to hopefully impress upon you that there's so much good and great about you as a person. You being in this world makes the world different. If you didn't have your unique energy, your unique energetic imprint on this earth, the world would be different. The universe would be different, but you're here. So let's go ahead and look for the differences of how we can grow, how we can shine, how we can learn, how we can truly become better as individuals within our community, within those in our life. And that is what we would call ecology, doing something good for self, good to others, and good for the world. And those little actions that you take on being more gentle, those small actions that you take in just getting better, just those subtle increments of improvement, you will also change those around you. You'll start to inspire, you'll start to help other people. And sometimes in certain situations, you'll realize that that issue, that resistance that we had, that we got through, we moved through, we grew because of it. When we went through that, when we've gone through that, we can look back and go, do you know what? Even though that event was horrible, it did cause me to grow. It did instigate a transformation within me. It did cause me to learn. It did cause me to actually make a difference in the world. And I see so many people doing so many good and great things, and it was inspired by something that hurt them, that an event that they went through. And they just want to be able to help more people because of that. And I can say, for me, that is true. When I used to feel all the anxiety, when I used to feel all the fears and the worries and the doubts, it caused me to do something about it. And then having found my own solution, I wanted to hopefully help other people along the way. And I did not know back then, I fell into this. I definitely did not know back then how much my work will get out there into the world. But I'm inspired in every day, and I want you to have that. I want you to look back and go, some events that we went through, despite them being hard and horrible, that at the very least, I can learn from that, and I can help others because of it. And you never know who's out there who is wanting to be helped. You don't know how you can help that person. And it all starts with that assumption and that responsibility. And when I said about going off out into the future in your mind, there was someone called Neville Goddard who wrote a great book, I believe it was called Awareness. And I always say this quote here and there, because it is such a great one. It was assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and act upon it with conviction, and therefore you'll be aligned with your desires. I'll say it again. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and act upon it with conviction, and therefore you will be aligned with your desires. Now, what does that mean? Well, if we break it down linguistically, it means there's not wishful thinking, but this is assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. In other words, assuming the feeling of having achieved your goals, and then acting upon it with conviction. You see, many times in life, we go through the visualization and then we leave the visualization and do nothing. We don't take the action that is needed. We don't commit to our success. We're usually more committed to our fears than our future and our happiness, the abundance, the freedom. Sometimes we feel more committed to doing nothing. And it's easy to see why, because it is what we've felt. It's what we've known. But now we've got to be more committed to our outcome. The lack of doing anything is the evidence of a lack of commitment. And I'm here to say in the most loving way, because it will push up against your values sometimes. Because sometimes being told that we're not doing something and therefore we're more committed to staying the same and more committed to our issues could trigger us. And that's okay. Maybe we need to be triggered sometimes. Maybe we need to be told that, look, something's not right. I haven't been doing anything about it, but now I'm going to do something. Assume the feeling of having achieved your goal and take massive and inspired action. You see, when you go there in your mind, when you go there with the inspired action to do something, even if it's the regulation of your thoughts, making things better, just improving every day, doesn't have to be crazy big, because sometimes that doesn't always work. You've probably done that before. But it's for gentle growth, it's for long-term growth. It's taking inspirational action because it makes you feel good. So take that action. Be more committed to your desires than you are maybe have been playing out those stories. Be more committed and dedicated to your future. The future you, which has the abundance, which has the joy, which has the peace, which has the contentment, which has the wholeness. Be committed to it, but focus on being better, learning and growing. Let's remove ourselves from being victims. I know we can be, and it's going to be right to be a victim. But if we stay there, we don't help anyone, and we definitely don't help ourselves. And that is why I said earlier to give up those reasons, because those reasons will keep us locked down. Those reasons will keep us stuck. And I sometimes think the person who did that thing, or the event that we went through, or even if we blame the world, we're giving them too much credit by being a victim. We're giving our power away to the past, to the person, by remaining the victim. So let's decide to be the victor. Let's decide to grow more, be more, have more. Let's do something where you realize you are worthy of this, where you take the time to plan, dedicate, and decide that now we're going to get things going. As I said, you can use these podcasts. You can tune in live on the Mondays, the Wednesdays, and the Fridays, so you can create a better unity. You can connect with us. You can cause us together to make this change. We can allow ourselves to grow more in the most transformational way. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you want to be seen, heard, and felt. And maybe this could be your opportunity. Maybe you need to find it in a new place as well. New friends, new connections, where people can see you for who you are. You can be seen, heard, and felt. They can see your light. They can see your opportunities and possibilities. They can see like the greatness in you. Sometimes we've got to shine a light on that. Like I said, external validation is not the validation we need, but it does help sometimes. So surround yourself with people who will support you. Realize that you can go through anything and get stronger because of it. You can learn, you can grow, you can transform. As I said, I believe in you. And I think sometimes that's all it takes. I don't know, that's just me. It could be my woo la la thinking at times, but I honestly do believe that. And I believe in you, as I said. And as always, you can go ahead, keep on listening to the free work, keep on conditioning your mind, reach out to professionals, reach out to people who can serve you. And of course, if you feel like you need a more customized approach, you can apply to our program, our 8-week system, fully customized. But the first thing you've got to go ahead and do is go to josephclough.info/power. josephclough.info/power. And then you can watch the masterclass and see if it resonates with you. If you're fully invested, if you're fully dedicated and decided, then this is your time. It's time to let go of the imposter syndrome. It's time to let go of the inner critic at a deep unconscious level. You got to meet the issue where it lives. Meet the issue where it lives, not via the symptoms, not via the external world, but within us. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. As I said, always remember, you have everything you need, and I believe in you. And I look forward to speaking to you in a future episode. Many thanks and goodbye.